Salut, je m'appelle Peter B. Smith. Je suis l'ingénieur en chef de mes software. Je suis un New-Yorkais. Je suis l'ennemi de la Silicon Valley et je suis l'ami de tous les hommes, femmes, garçons et filles qui recherchent la belle vie. Hi, I'm Peter B. Smith. I'm Chief Engineering Artist of Mist Software. I'm a New Yorker. I'm the enemy of Silicon Valley, and I am the friend of all men, women, boys, and girls looking for the good life. I have code to write, a screen share to show that code, and a terminal to see where things are at. Yes, we renamed an app. Get status. What branch was that on? Main. Okay. We'll just add this on main. Add, git commit, refactor. Renames book the hook to THC. Okay. So that means when I run this command, we're going to get app loaded for the hook club. And to the degree that I can, will prevent that infinity coming back. Sure, here we are. The hook club, THC. Isn't that nice? We have all this vertical space as a result of the image having it all around. It's worth getting that cleaned up at a later date. For the moment, the goal is, let's delete book the hook. No longer necessary. That is now represented by THC. The Brain app has many good layouts that are simple enough to make usable across applications. And beyond that, has an inconsistent pattern. If I look at a particular README of implementing from the router to contents of a page, that can be made standard with some thought to be explored tonight. Here we are, book the hook. Still says staff login because it's using a public layout. We want to use a staff layout. The Brain app has some representation of that. Pull that here, and we get better options for columns in our layouts. And we want some things that are in Brain, we don't have to refactor the whole thing, to at least set a consistent pattern in file structure for what these look like. So with any luck, I can do some connection to Brain. I'm not sure that I can, as a result of some switchover from its previous origin. well, it's still its origin, just still. Switch over from being called Cuddy and relying on Microsoft Auth. So if we load here, we go to staff login, we get to this Microsoft Auth, which don't want. See if we can fix that. It's here in layouts. Just want to go to profile. Don't want this. Let's refresh. Profile. Sure. Let's go to clients. See what we get here. Can every property is undefined in name. We're going to get these errors again and again, and this isn't the time to deal with that particular part of the issue. So let's deal with the idea originating where we get our staff layout shared across libraries. I'd like to make this a proper project. Let's call our shared components. Let's get a project JSON. Let's go to shared components and make a project JSON here. And go line by line. Let's remove targets. Let's call the project type library and call it libs shared components src. And its name is libs / shared components. Let's go to NX and see, can we pull now, because we have a project JSON, the libs dependency. If we do, we're cool. If not, we're not. No lib projects to be found. So, all right. Let's do this where we generate a new library. Shared components is a React library. Say components. We'll put this at lib shared. So shared React components. Bundler, not necessary. Generate. And look at the structure generated as a, well, the same name. Now we go. We get ourselves shared React components, which has a project JSON. Very similar to this, only it has targets, test and lint. Does this show up in the graph? Can we run that again? Oh, we did all right. We just didn't refresh from previous. So if we click into seeing where shared components fits, it's not shown as dependent. Interesting. Okay. So be it. Deal with that another time. I'm going to do a git clean and a git checkout to get us back to just a fresh start and get on track with our thought of putting a layout such that it can be reused across multiple apps. So we have brain components, we have what we want over here, THC, and let's go to any container. Let's see what is our private layout called brain root layout. Okay. So let me stop sharing for a moment and pull that stream up. Make sure our audio is okay. Hello? Hello? We've got the possibility that we're good. We're using the camera. Okay, I go to settings. Hi. Sound input. They don't call it a microphone, they call it sound input. Okay, and I'm talking about the design team at Apple. It's good. We'll go back to screen share, entire screen, and we're in the mix. Don't need these, don't need this. We need this, our root layout, to be shared. So let's take this and everything above it. Let's go to shared components, source, page. Page looks good. This is the root, it's the article. How do we call it? File. Layouts. I don't need many of these things, it appears. Topics nav section. Just remove that for the moment. Know what it is. It's a secondary nav of another name. Okay. Make a user inferable. Our navigation is going to be active navigation is called a string. And we can remove this. Requires type argument t equal. Yeah, so we'll call this private layout, and rename these prives to be such. Okay, so the root, we're going to have to start adding this. We're going to need a title of a string. The logo URL also be a string. I think we can have that be optional. All right, so then we have UL of nav links, very hard coded. That'll have to go. And we have our user, which requires name, initials, and an ID. So we say user is T, and T extends any. It's like T extends name string, D string, and initials string. We can just say any other strings as well. So type is equal to and that extends. So we're covered there. And then from this point, what's necessary is merely our nav. which takes nav links whose active navigation is a string. That string is equal to whichever okay. It's going to take a little bit of thought. Don't think too much. And then our secondary as well, because we just pulled that out. And we have this person tag hard-coded with a lot hard-coded here. I think it's okay. Let's work on using this private layout in THC layouts. We'll say replace all those. Cool. We're going to say THC staff layout. It's going to come from private layout. Pass some children down. Now let's see. Export private layout. We have to export the layouts file. Cool. All right. Private layout requires title. Call that the hook club. It's whatever the title is over here. I'll book the hook. Just say staff. Our image. What else have we got? The user. Say name is mine. Initials are mine. The ID is set up like that. Active navigation, we'll say clients. So be it. we've got ourselves THC staff layout. Let's go put that into action on a page where it's warranted. This drafts list page. I need to export that. Staff layout. If we save that, and we go to staff, drafts, we get somewhere, especially if we're running it. Okay. We have our starting point over here. And that nav, what's the thought? THC staff layout. I'm going to extend those props. I'm going to say type THC staff layout props equals, say, active navigation households, just for the moment. And then we use that over here. Say active navigation is equal to households. So when we reload, we get some households active. That's all right. Further, what we like to do is get columns going. Let's see what it takes to do that in here. We use an article. Inside the article goes the card. So let's do that with article. One article from the shared components. And do this because we want the nav to have something. What's here? Side nav, yeah. Do a quick little copier over to this. There's side nav. Exists where? Is that only in brain? It is. Very good. We take this and put it elsewhere. Side nav's a very simple one to copy over. Let's go to shared components. This is a big part of our day. Take side nav and put it into, what do we call it? Article. Something like that. Page. Yeah, I think page is good. Remove it from side nav for wherever side nav is used, and change that import. Be done in a moment. It's getting to be a very fat export at shared components. Not sure what to do about that. Don't love the fatness. Now we have a side nav. And actions nav section, the generic nav section. Let's remove these for the moment. Go to title, call it actions. And let's see how we look over here now. We have space for, we do not have any actual visible. So let's do something like button disabled. We'll call this select templates. Yeah, not quite, not quite. We still need a section. So go to that article nav. Go to this list, not this list, this list, and see what it looks like. We're using that nav. We have side nav. We have this nav section. This nav section looks entirely generic. Let's go over to page. Use this H6. Cool. And go to everywhere we have a nav section now. And start fixing. It's not so many places. Okay. Back in our but we have nav section, gets a button, and requires a title. I'll call it actions. Don't know what the side nav optional title is meant to render. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Let's see where we're at. Somewhere. We're somewhere. Actions off on the side with no particular padding or style around that. Let's go to view and find out what's caused that. The action navs section has what it has. Go to list. That's where we were. Brain. It looks like this. Our nav section. It's good, but not so good as our actions nav section, as it has the class by default on the other. We're going to roll with it. Here we'll add a class name. Well, we'll have to allow for that. Where might that be useful to look at would be typography and how we do our attrs spread. And that would go on the section that totally override, and that's the case where we got to do something a little bit more. Yes, it is the case we got to do a little bit more. Okay. Let's go back to our typography and look at that example. React typography props attributes. Well, this is all right, except for how we're calling attributes, because we have React props with children here. Do we have that over here? Yeah, we do. Section class names, not in type. Attributes. Export nav section. And over here in typography, it's the same deal. We export, we got our issue here. It's just here. Where we didn't extend anything. Oh. Now section props. And we're happy. So we go back to our nav section. See what we get. Don't want that. Let's get with it. On the interior div. Around the children. Oh, yeah. So we went back to our list. What might be better? Oh, let's see here. Let's put it on the button itself. I think I agree. Give it some margin. Mm-hmm. No, not quite. Okay, fine. Back to the way it was. And in our nav, we're gonna move this logic into div. I don't love that. What are semantic children of a section HTML element? And while that's doing its thing, go over here, class name it. Yeah. Heading elements, article, and a side, a nav, a figure. Use the div. It's not meant to mean anything. Just want to say whatever that class name is, it applies here. And this can go back to just being a string. Oh, so happily shall you be the string. Okay. All the other attributes are going to go on that, which is a little odd. That's okay. And we're running all that because I didn't want to make a actions side nav. That's all right. So we got drafts. That's the main of the page. We've got the overview and the aside. I don't think there's any reason for that. So we'll go to that lists page. Remove those. We'll call those drafts. It's almost like we want templates and drafts. We'll deal with that when the time comes. What we're working with next is back in our private nav, shareable nav, these. So if we go to layouts or private layouts, we want to have our navigation. So what we might call, if we go to that navigation, layouts and our shared components, we want it to have a UL. Let's have list items. So we want it to have nav links ultimately. Those nav links are active or inactive based on the active navigation. So if we have a primary nav array, we iterate over that, should have a href in it, and it should identify its name, its title, can have the title, and then take it from there. So it'd be like primary nav dot map. It's going to return li. Key will be nav item title. We'll have our nav link with nav item title defined there. Active navigation equals nav title dot to lower, suppose something like that, and nav item dot href, like that. Primary nav items now goes up here, and private layout props has primary nav items as an array of href string, title is a string, I'm missing nothing at all. Okay, so now we have primary nav items. Suppose we can make that optional and say all this UL contingent on primary nav items. And back in THC layouts, we would say a private layout say primary nav items is an array of what? Let's say href drafts, title drafts, like that. And so this must be like that. See how we're doing over here. Want this to be drafts. I think we're coming along. What else might we have? Drafts. There's a request contracts, something like that. Cool. Okay, we go to layouts. Primary nav items. Going to remove all of these. Okay, so we removed secondary. That's okay. Not quite, really. We need them. So the whole purpose of this endeavor is to take from brain. So we call this might be root function. Well, let's just copy this over. No, it's not actually. I take that back. Call this staff layout. Copy all these props over. That's okay. We're going to return private layout. Some children in it. We call the title brain. And we need what more? User. Okay. We have some files on the user, and that's not cool. So we need an active topic, and active navigation. Let's go here. Say that our private layout can have a user of type T. Private layer extends string or string array. Maybe that fixes that. Call this secondary nav items. Pull this to the side so we can do a side-by-side on this. Call active topic here. We have the secondary navigation with this particular style. This is very hard-coded. Ultimately, we want to load this. If we've got secondary nav items. We go secondary nav items. Map nav item to an li, like so, where we need a key. The nav item title equals title dot to lowercase import a text link. I'm going to dasherize and titleize. I don't know about all that. We have our href. And or title. And we just leave this with applying this class based on, call it active topic. No reason to change it quite right now. Okay. So back in brain, we have office topics, also done in so many ways. Yeah. Okay, so it's active navigation. I'm going to iterate over office topics. Okay. Active topic is equal to active topic. User here. Want to have a Boolean as well. So be it. I should read both. We want our primary nav items array to be title, households, href, clients. We want to have title, office, and our href. What do we do for that? Office. I create the primary nav items, or secondary nav items. A bit more a function of the active nav. It's here. Map topic. Should return href dash arise. The topic. And then title. It'll titleize topic. I think that covers the mapping function. Well, that could be made more dry. We'll leave it as such for the moment. There's no need for that, actually. Cons will say map topics to nav items. Say topic. Okay. Cool. So down here, we're getting somewhere. I think we still need a little bit of work. So let's see how we do. Our signature is looking for number. Our private layout has hard-coded footer, could be, or maybe not. Our private layout has no footer. Okay. In this case, it does, though. We want to show that. How do we? This collapses too much, doesn't it? Oh, no, we don't use it. Cool. Not necessary. All right. So then are we complete with brain staff layout? Looks like we are. Close the string. And with that said, we have brain root layout, which is all over the joint. We haven't been able to see quite yet. So we'll leave that for now with the presumption that it works. And go back here. Let's go to the auth on that. Yeah, got logged out. Okay. Can't log in. So be it. Deal with that. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. Another time. The point of this was increasing standards, and we need some standards. So let's do something here. Where every instance of brain root layout becomes instance of brain staff layout. and we delete this. Okay. No issues or errors there. Go back and see about running that. Didn't get safe sends side nav fixed. Let's deal with that. Okay. Staff login. If you go to web profile. Oh, we removed that. There, what customer login is about. Customer login. Auth customer login. Wonder. Another day. All right. Okay. Cerebral. Let's do the cerebellum. Principal, not the corner, called the cerebral stage. All right. So we're using private layout in 2 places now. Feeling good about that. Let's make a commit to reflect that difference. And next up, the main event. Setting the standard for here, where we have the router TS. like staff router for THC. Looks like that. It's okay. Drafts list page. Okay. What we're noticing here is this part. The layout is there. I'd like that. Staff router imports that bit. Then our drafts list page takes all of that. How this does my head in. Because we're looking to improve on documentation. We're standardizing. We're going towards a framework. I don't see the point today. I wish I did. Might be my fear. I don't know. Just don't see it. The idea being to have somebody else build it might scare me. So let's try to solve documentation as a part of this. Okay. Standard pages are lists and updates and creates, deletes, and details. This is a drafts list page. Takes in a request session. We have the layout there. Okay. So not readme, saying that. Pages. Source. Pages. This TSX. Implements. Route. Handler. Called. Drafts list page. Uses the render function and contains the layout. Its contents. The reason for this setup is to be simple. Okay. Now a change in brain is pages here. Create would be reactor under family create would not be there. It would be here. Our user would be rec session user article card and families form. All go there. And we go down the line like this. We see that we don't have to pass the rec around. Just say rec.query. And so on we go. Peak. User, an optional URL. Don't know the value of that. Let's keep going. Processes create. Rec.session user or processes form. We have an issue where process is not assignable to processes. Okay. Wouldn't be one here. Process. Is optional. It's optional everywhere, right? Payments form. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Now projects. Create query. This is a good one because we have a strongly defined query that matters quite a bit. Let's go to find where this is. It's not where I thought it would be. not used anywhere. Very cool. Let's move on. Oh, it's right here. So it's a good example of where we were going with this. So our query like that. Project form takes the query. Say has query. Goes here. All this wants us to take that our params 1, 2, 3, 4 unknown, 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 and then project create props. Query. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Remove this. Remove this. This part here is a part of our simplification initiative. Processes, create, families, all these can go. Looks like it. Well, then our projects create page is now exported from a different spot when we finish this up. Clients create gets the same treatment. Yeah. Where would this come from? Couldn't even tell you. This will all go. Okay. This one was already on point. More of these. Creates. Oh yeah. All these forms. Sure enough. And then this ends up going away. I think that's where I'm going to stop this endeavor. Will be the end of this create. And then go back to the docs. No, maybe do it all. I'm not sure. Is there any remaining issues here? Possibly. Here's one. Why would this layout be different? I don't know. It's very obvious now that it is. Okay. We have a query. Defined query. So that's unknown, 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 and then like so. Let me do something with this. Nothing at all. Great. Why would that matter? Can put that down. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Okay. Next up, team members create. Just moves. Let's see about that. It's a very empty looking file. Just never got there. It's okay. Part of the long effort is getting this working for demonstration purposes. So maybe that's plausible. Don't have any help. I mean, I'm doing a lot of work. Yowza. Okay. This whole thing's out of order anyway. Moving right along. Project boards, create page. What errors do we have? Oh. Doesn't seem necessary. We don't use rectech query anywhere. Just don't want to deal with it. No problem. No problem. No problem. Client's form. Just layout here. Okay. Should have some error here. Or what do we call this? Reading note. I have a heck of a lot of imports to fix. It shouldn't be too big a bother. Yep. Just a whole bunch of these. Gutted. All this has been gutted. Great. So we don't need the create page. We dealt with that. Now our pages is good. And the ability for our app to run is wrecked. Totally. The point of all of it, I think it's explored. It allows the query parameters in particular to be defined in one spot. I like that. Don't need creator like that. We're good there. Okay. Let's see, does that exist anywhere? It's from the page. I think I like that. I'm glad I'm seeing this part of it. This is where it matters. That query gets passed around. Here it's a important part. Okay, that was it. That was the whole thing. It's supposed to load. Okay. So what do we put in the README about this further? Yeah. So the router imports this. Containers versus components. Let's go to pages can go over here. Standard pages include all those. Just call this routers. Two, three, four. Okay. Starting to get there. Sure. Okay. So our create page. How many containers, directories do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our update contains how many? Enough. At our list. Enough. Oh, that's enough. Okay. I'm gonna have to work this out another time. All right, let's see what the preview looks like. We have Brain Docs disclaimer. It's a little too big. We have MN definition here. Yep. Containers versus components. Yep. There. Routers 1. Okay. Standard pages include all of those. And the example source pages lists. Say apps, brain, source, pages, creates, Okay. Okay. It does a bunch of complicated doodads till we get to the end. Happy enough with that. Pages. If we said that the standard pages include, and we make this that way. Yeah. Say something like this. It's truly an example. Then it looks like an example, right? Yep, that's fine. Good. Okay. So our examples there. I'm good with this. Condenses, conforms, creates to standards. Okay. So we'd have to get all of those to standards. In order to call brain standards conformant. Would take, could be an hour to get it done. Might be worth it. How would we deal with this pages by role idea? It's like staff creates pages. We can make modules out of those. Don't want to deal with that too much, if at all. So all of these details go bye-bye. And it's a bigger file, particular with details, yet this seems a little bit worth it. Subscriptions detail, this depend page on the end of all of these. 16 to 29, that's 13. Let's see. Rename all, append page to the end of all exported functions. For example, clients detail becomes clients detail page. Yeah, wrecked. Forget it. Let's see. Yep. And then we go to the one error I saw in there, details page. I don't know that this is a good use of time, going through and dealing with all this right now. Step away with it, come back to it later. Or be done with it. It's not a bad idea. Better things to do. That was nice. Till next time. It's been a fun 2 hours.